this dear industry and make sure that they are the ones who benefit the most from this reopening.
Let us continue to fuel the passion that drives sustainable tourism. We are stronger than ever. We are ready.
Let us celebrate the new Ilocano.
We will preserve what worked well and change what did not, and ensure a brighter future.
We'll make the best of what we have. We are the most resilient industry. Kami ang unang babangon.
Bimangonin ni Ilocos Norte, the best little province in the country.
It is not only a source of livelihood, but also a key component, a beacon of hope.
Paway, kumakaway. Goodbye, kurabay.
Let us all agree that the future we envision is the one we create today.
There has to be a paradigm shift and a cultural change, one that we must all embrace.
To achieve positive change and improvement, not just for our own lives, but for the millions who depend on tourism.
Ilocos Norte is the best place to live in. Padasin nyo.
It's not the economy and it's not the visitors, but more so the people and the livelihoods and the families that rely on this powerhouse of an industry.
Ilocos Norte is great again. Pasingketan, ikinatan-ok ni Ilocano.
I am sure that this is a path that we can forge together safely and prosperously.
Good evening, volleyball fans. We are coming to you live from the PCV Social, Civic, and Cultural Center here in Bacra, Ilocos Norte, as we bring you the live and exclusive coverage of the first and only Pro Volleyball League here in the country. This is a Premier Volleyball League Open Conference, and what a night it is going to be. For the last game of our Thursday triple header, our main event, and a game that many of us have been waiting for. It's the PETRO GAZZ Angels versus the Santa Lucia Lady Realtors, the two teams who are vying for that last semifinal spot. You can catch all the action right here on One Sports and One Sports Plus. Thank you so much for joining us. My name is Billy Capistrano, and with me today,
dito sa eliminations, and you also mentioned about the crucial game today between the PETRO GAZZ Angels and the Santa Lucia Lady Realtors. 4th and 5th in our standing here today, and I think it's also fitting that we discuss yung mga kailangang mangyari in this game for both teams, as very crucial nga itong game na to. So if Santa Lucia wants to stay alive in this game, kailangan nilang manalo agad dito in 3 sets. As we take a look at this, the scenarios in our screen. So ayan, going back, Santa Lucia should win in straight sets to keep their semis hope alive. Pero kapag ka nanalo naman sila ng more than like 4 sets or 5 sets, you know, their chances will depend on the game of PETRO GAZZ versus Choco Mucho. So, yeah, if 5 sets naman manalo si Santa Lucia, kahit anong panalo ng PETRO GAZZ bukas, pasok na talaga si PETRO GAZZ. And if 4 sets naman manalo yung Santa Lucia tonight, then 5 sets manalo ang PETRO GAZZ bukas, ito yung pinaka, alam mo yun, magiging nakakalito na scenario because it will boil down to quotient para malaman natin who will get the final slot in the semis of PVL.
Yes, thank you, Mela. Now there you have it, all the possible scenarios that can happen depending on the outcome of this game. That's why this match is so consequential for both our teams. Now let's dive right into things. We're going to talk about these two teams even further, starting Mela with the PETRO GAZZ Angels, who defeated the pesky Valley Pure Water Defenders last August 3.
That's right. That was a very convincing win for them. And one thing to highlight sa PETRO GAZZ Angels, like during that game, they utilized more of the bench players into that game. And I think that's the luxury of having a deep bench in your lineup. And they were able to seal that win 25-20, 26-24, 25-23. A lot of players stepped up. Hindi lang yung mga expected players natin like Ria Meneses, you know, Ces Molina. Soltones on your screens though, top scored in that game with 14 points. Pero they also had a lot of other players stepping up in that game.
As you said, Gretchen Soltones, the Lady Beast, was awake in that game. And you know, the great thing about Gretch is she evolved right before our eyes here in the Open Conference. Not just, you know, an offensive powerhouse, but a defensive threat as well.
That's right. And doon naman talaga siya kilala, you know, being a multi-awarded player and MVP at her own right sa NCAA. Talagang all-around player yan, from offense to defense, lumalagare. And in that game against Valley Pure, she scored 14 points from 9 attacks, 4 aces, and 1 block. And syempre, her digs were also crucial in that game dahil mas nakaset up sila ng mas maraming play. Also leading the way to Myla to attack as well as their other players. They have Jerry Malabanan also. And kanina nga nakausap din natin si Myla Pablo coming to this game. So let's hear her thoughts on her pre-game ritual.
This game talaga, napaka-important talaga tong game na to. So kailangan talaga namin mag-focus sa loob ng court. And then ibibigay namin yung best namin. Hindi lang sa court, express mga management namin and mga coaches namin. Kung ano yung mga pre-practice namin sa loob ng court, kailangan may apply namin sa game.
Alright, that was Myla Pablo of the PETRO GAZZ Angels, and we wish her all the best in today's game. Hopefully, she plays well today, Myla. She was a little bit silent in that game, but today it's a whole different story. Now, let's go to the side of the Santa Lucia Lady Realtors. This team, they've been on a roll. You know, they have a 4-game winning streak, and that last one was at the expense of the Perla Spikers.
Yes, I was telling you nga kanina nung nag-uusap tayo na parang itong Santa Lucia Lady Realtors just speaking at the right time here in this tournament. You know, at the early parts of their season, parang medyo nawawala na rin ng pag-asa yung ibang tao, but then they bounce back right in time for them to still have a chance here in our semi-slot as they took that game and with a very good pace for them, 25-13, 25-18, and 25-18 then in our last set.
And someone who has been so consistent for this team, she has been top scoring for her team. Here we have it. We have MJ Phillips, who has just been, you know, on a roll as well here in this conference.
That's right. And you mentioned nga she's being the top scorer for her team. And yeah, nakausap din natin siya kanina. And she's very focused coming into this game dahil yun nga, she wants to keep their team alive, you know, and enter the semis. And sobrang versatile lang kasi nilipat na siya ng pwesto from open to opposite, but still, kung paano siya mag-deliver, it's really at the same level.
And you can see the stats of MJ Phillips in that previous game. She had 18 points off 13 attacks, 3 aces, and 2 blocks. Now, speaking of MJ Phillips, we also had the chance to talk to her, so why don't we listen in on that interview?
The mindset for myself and my teammates is just take every game like it's a championship. It's a do or die, like just go all out, pretty much. Just to play with confidence. We know it's volleyball. Just keep it simple and just do what we know what to do.
MJ Phillips of the Santa Lucia Lady Realtors, and what we got out of that interview, Mela, was she just wanted, you know, to keep things simple here in this game for her and her team.
Yes, going back to basics, yun din yung magiging kailangan nila to score of wins. And what's also good for Santa Lucia fans is itong si MJ slowly becoming an all-around player kasi dati maasahan natin siya sa opensa, sa blockings. But in their last game, she actually top scored for her team in terms of digging. She managed to have a 16 dig output in that game against Perla. So it's a good sign also for them. And on your screens, you can see Mika Reyes also scored 9 points in that game. And it was a really good effort from everyone from the Santa Lucia Lady Realtors in that last game. Actually, dalawa lang naka-double digits. Pero si Mika Reyes and si Jonas Sabete scored 9 points. So halos lahat ng spikers nila ay naka-double digit output na rin. But ito nga si Mika, subok na rin yung leadership niya, her veteran wits inside the court, as well as ito si Jonas Sabete really doing everything to keep their team alive here in this tournament.
So Mela, before we start this game, we're gonna go over to the side of the PETRO GAZZ Angels again because there was one Angel. We talked about it a while ago that Coach Arnold Lanyog wanted to shift the players on the court, and one of them was Jeremy Malabanan. I always say this, but she also improved so much here in our open conference.
That's right. And actually, a lot of people are expecting the same quality that she played from her time in FEU, ganyan. Pero kasi it's also hard for a player to come off the bench, lalo na kung hindi ka sanay. Pero yun nga, in their last game, she started for PETRO GAZZ Angels in all those 3 sets that they won, and she managed to score off 7 points coming off from 6 attacks. And her attack efficiency in that game, she managed to get 6 points out of her 20 attempts. So medyo mataas talaga yung naging porsyento ni Jerry Malabanan in that game, giving support to one of their main guns. As we take a look at our screens, Ria Meneses vying for the best blocker award here in this game. Very consistent for their team, but yeah, so far everything going well for PETRO GAZZ. She's been getting a lot of help from all her teammates. We have Soltones, we have Malabanan, and all the rest from the PETRO GAZZ Angels.
All right, there you have it. We have the PETRO GAZZ Angels and the Santa Lucia Lady Realtors. We are to start this game. Everybody buckle up and fasten your seatbelts. It's going to be a great game as we turn it over to our tournament announcer for the announcement of our starters.
And now our national referees for this match. First referee, Erlindo Eusebio. Second referee, Lumer Bajarillo. And now let's meet the starters first for the Santa Lucia Lady Realtors. Center from the College of St. Benil, number 2, Janelle Wang. Middle blocker from De La Salle University, number 5, Mika Reyes. Opposite hitter from Juniata College, number 13, MJ Phillips. Middle blocker from the University of St. La Salle, number 15, Del Palomata. Outside spiker from Arellano University, number 19, Jovi Prado. Outside spiker from Bulacan State University, number 20, Jonas Sabete. Starting libero from Adamson, number 1, Bang Pineda. And the head coach for the Lady Realtors is Edison Orculio. And now the starters for the PETRO GAZZ Angels. Outside spiker from San Sebastian College, Recoletos, number 5, Gretzel Soltones. Opposite hitter from San Beda University, number 7, Ces Molina. Middle blocker from the Far Eastern University, number 9, Ram Palma. Center from De La Salle University, number 17, team captain Chi Saet. Middle blocker from the University of Santo Tomas, number 18, Ria Meneses. Outside spiker from the National University, number 19, Mayla Pablo.
We are back and you're still watching the Premier Volleyball League Open Conference. This is a game between the Santa Lucia Lady Realtors and the PETRO GAZZ Angels. On your screens, the starters for Santa Lucia, we got Cheng Prado, Phillips, Sabete, Reyes, Palomata, and Bang Pineda, their libero. And Mela, ito naman ang starters for the PETRO GAZZ Angels.
So full force ka agad itong PETRO GAZZ Angels, sticking to their core. We have Myla Pablo, Soltones, Meneses, Palma finally seeing action in this game, and led by veteran setter Saed, and of course Molina and Kat Arado.
So So it's gonna be a very interesting matchup we have today. Madaming nakasalalay, Mela, sa laro na ito.
That's right. Baka nga nalito yung mga viewers natin sa mga what ifs, pero basically this is just a very crucial game, and even the number of sets would matter for both these teams.
And also essentially a must-win game for both our teams. Now, if PETRO GAZZ loses and the Santa Lucia Lady Realtors, getting ahead of myself, they win today, it's gonna be a little bit more complicated.
That's right.
Rachel Sotones with a serve. We start things off. And that is an early point for Jonas Abete and the Lady Realtors.
Instant offense there from Jonas Abete. Receive niya, palo niya. And just a beautiful angle there for that first line hit, courtesy of Jonas Abete.
We got Janelle Cheng as well, who has been the starting setter here for Santa Lucia. Chisaet.
Bit slower there sa running attack ni Remy.
Again, they will try no-go. They go to MJ Phillips. Nobody there for PETRO GAZZ.
Wide opening there on the side of the PETRO GAZZ Angels, and Phillips acknowledging that big hole in their offense.
As we take a look at that one more time. MJ Phillips, as we mentioned in the pre-game, she's been on a roll here in the Open Conference, especially after that dismal performance against the Chocomucho Flying Titans. Yun lang yung talo nila. After that, tuloy-tuloy na yung mga panalo.
That's right. And maganda rin yung matchup natin today when it comes to setting. Kasi alam mo, si Janelle Cheng and si Chisaet, former teammates before sa PETRO GAZZ.
Yes.
So, alam mo yung pagbasa nila sa isa't isa, baka nandyan na rin. Kasi kanina nakita natin si Remy nag-running, tapos sinet din naman ni Janelle Cheng ng opposite. So, nakita niyo yung diskarte na si Remy nasa other side of the court, patas bigla niyang binato. So, yung basa talaga sa place ng bawat isa, it's gonna be exciting in this matchup also today.
So would you say that these two teams have similar team compositions in a way that lahat ng positions na meron sila, magaling yung mga players? They have solid players in each position that they have.
Yeah, I would say that. Although when it comes to pagiging veterano, I think PETRO GAZZ has the advantage when it comes to that, to that aspect. Pero we cannot sleep on the lineup also of Santa Lucia, as we saw. Ito nga sila, parang they found na kasi the right mix for their team. Kaya sunod-sunod din yung panalo nila. You know, they transferred itong si MJ Phillips to opposite. And then MVP, former NCAA MVP na si Prado talagang making waves here, big waves for Santa Lucia.
And another person making big waves here in this game is Jonas Sabete. Look at her go.
The elevation of Sabete, always a joy to watch as we take a look at the spike of the set brought to you by Duncan. Jonas Sabete on top of our leading best blocker, Ria Meneses.
And Santa Lucia, they take an early lead here at our set number 1. But PETRO GAZZ will tie this game via that service error. Thank you so much for all those watching us. Whether it's on One Sports or One Sports Plus, this is going to be a very exciting matchup. Once again, the Santa Lucia Lady Realtors going up against the PETRO GAZZ Angels. MJ Phillips is blocked at the net.
Good recovery there by Janelle Cheng.
They go to Myla. Back to Phillips. Again, she is blocked.
Net defense of PETRO GAZZ, again as expected. They're leading on that aspect.
Some scrappy plays for both our teams scrambling for that ball. MJ will try again. She is blocked. No way, said Ria Meneses and Myla Pablo, of course.
The reaction of Myla Pablo, you know, you seldom see her react whenever she gets a point, and that only means that she's really feeling this game and she's up para bantayan talaga yung kanyang katapat. Of course, sa kanya rin kasi natapat yung top scorer. So there's really an extra effort to level up your game today.
You know, as an athlete, former athlete, ganun ba talaga yung feeling? If may katapat kang magaling na magaling, you also wanna improve your game para matapatan mo yung kalaban mo?
Well, ganun talaga yung dapat. And kaya nga may sinasabi tayo na like if a lower seeded team goes up against a higher seeded team, sumasabay.
Yes.
Yun yung term, sumasabay yung laro. Kasi, you know, the best athletes really challenge you to also bring in your A game.
As we see Ria Meneses, Bang Pineda on your screens. PETRO GAZZ holding on to a 2-point lead right now. 5 serving 3. Good serve. MJ Phillips is blocked, but she will try. Great defense here for PETRO GAZZ. They give it up. Sabete off the hands of Arado.
Awesome volleyball action here, courtesy of Santa Lucia Lady Realtors and the PETRO GAZZ Angels. As we take a look, medyo na late dito si Meneses. So good setup job also by Janelle Cheng. Not even Kat Arado could handle that hit by Jonah.
Jonah Sabete, former PETRO GAZZ Angel as well. She will serve. They go to Myla. Again, the blocking here for PETRO GAZZ, the bread and butter of the PETRO GAZZ Angels. And Myla Pablo, Mela, she is feeling it today.
That's right. You know, I would expect that si Rhea Meneses would be really on top of her blocking game today, but Myla with back-to-back block points for the Angels. This is a good sign for their team.
And trying to contribute in any way she can for the GAZZ Angels. And that will be a violation called on Santa Lucia.
I think si Janelle Cheng touched the net, pero I'd like to credit yung kanyang setting game here today. Kanina pa talon ng talon si Rhea Meneses sa gitna. She's really able to fake yung kanyang mga sets and nalilito niya yung mga blockers.
As we get back to this game, they give it to MJ Phillips. And that is a violation this time, called on PETRO GAZZ.
That's right. I think itong si Chiside naman had a crossing violation. Masyadong dikit yung receive na yon, and she sort of landed on the other side of the court.
So that is back-to-back errors from both our setters. Score now is 5-7. For those who just tuned in, we just started set number 1, Santa Lucia contra PETRO GAZZ. Great blocking. The blocking is right there for PETRO GAZZ Mela as we go to our first technical timeout of set number 1.
Myla Pablo of the PETRO GAZZ Angels shared to me that they have to maximize the receive upang ma-utilize sa kanilang middle na si Rhea, mabigyan ng space sa kanilang setter na si Chi, at makapalo ng malakas ang kanilang hitter na si Gretzel. Dahil isang araw lang kanilang pahinga, bibigyan daw nila ng time to rest ang sarili nila for this crucial match. Who will bag the ticket to the semis, the Santa Lucia Lady Realtors or the PETRO GAZZ Angels? Let's return to find out.
That was Ai Tensai with her report. And for those who aren't aware, and Mela mentioned this in our pregame, from here on out, 3 games per day na tayo up until the semifinals. And, you know, that is not only physically draining, but also mentally draining as well.
That's right. Kasi, every game, you're gonna have to study yung opponent mo eh. So, parang yung time mo para mag-move on sa kung ano man yung na-absorb mo this day, going to the next game, medyo draining talaga siya.
Sobrang nakakapagod. But, for our athletes here, for our volleyball players, it's really just giving the fans good games, and also they're doing this for themselves. As Del Palomata will serve for Santa Lucia. Her team is down 2 points here in set number 1. Soltones. And Soltones will get a point for PETRO GAZZ.
Good read there by Soltones. Nakita niya umatras na yung mga defenders at no one there to defend that ball or to keep it alive at least.
PETRO GAZZ looking pumped up here in set number 1. Ces Molina will serve. She's a 4th best spiker here in our league. And again, Jovi Prado.
The ability of Prado to take on so many angles whenever she attacks is just so impressive. Reminds me of Bernadette Pons actually. Yung dun siya nakaharap sa kaliwa, but she will twist and hit it right. And actually, isa yun sa mga malalaking factors in this game today because you can't just hit it straight all the time, especially when you're going up against the top blocking team in the league.
But however, one thing that they should watch out for is their service errors. But I do believe in their previous game, walang mga 13 lang yung errors ng Santa Lucia, hoping to replicate that in today's game.
They actually had a good game that game, pero on the side of Petro Gazz naman, I wanted to go back to the interview of Myla earlier. Sabi nga ni Ayi na talagang gustong galingan ni Myla today para daw makapagpahinga yung kanilang mga usual suspects, their main guns. They have, you know, Ria Meneses, Grecia Sultones, kasi pagod na sila eh. Like at this point of the tournament, na everyday sila naglalaro, pagod na talaga yung mga main guns sila. And it's very humble of Myla, alam mo yun, an MVP herself, not even considering herself as the main gun of Petro Gazz.
So she's gonna take one for the team, and right on cue, we got Myla Pablo living up to her word in that interview that she had a while ago. She wants to do this for her teammates, and this spike of the set is brought to you by none other than Duncan, care of Myla Pablo. Typhoon Pablo is alive and kicking here in our game.
And her body language is also looking good in this game. It forces Santa Lucia for this timeout.
Pwede naman doon, block ka. Block mo, ginaganyan lang. Diba? Try natin pag-usapan nila. Kasi trouble, hindi naman tinutulak. Hindi dyan lasang sa ulo mo. So, pag-block mo. Tapos basahin natin. Tingnan mo, nag-check natin. Check lang.
The Santa Lucia Lady Realtors trailing behind the Petro Gazz Angels. For those who just tuned in, welcome. What a match this is going to be. A deciding match for both our teams. Mika Reyes on your screens. MJ Phillips, of course, and Bang Pineda. Rempalma, who didn't play last game, but she is back here with her teammates. Sultones, the best server in the league. She had 4 aces in their previous game. Mika Reyes is blocked. Taking it to the other side. Jonas Sabete makes up for that one.
Ginamitan na ng lakas because, you know, Petro Gazz really have been checking and blocking the spikers of Santa Lucia really well. At ngayon nga, extra effort on that power hit courtesy of Jonas Sabete.
8 serving 12 right now. Ooh, taking advantage of that mishap by Petro Gazz.
Back-to-back points for Jonas Sabete, just so active on that net. Ready sa balik. And look at the form. Perfect, picture-perfect form for Jonas Sabete on that regalo hit.
And so athletic as well. Talking about Jonas Sabete, but here we are. Rempalma gets it through with that reaction at the end of her point. And you know, that's what you're gonna expect from Rempalma. She really is just such a character when she plays.
Ever since collegiate ranks pa lang, and every team she plays in, there's really that signature swag, and it actually brings out the best game for her. And ngiting nakapagpahinga last game eh.
Pahingang-pahinga talaga, and that's why she's ready to show up today. However, MJ Phillips was a little silent in the past few minutes, but she makes her presence felt again here for Santa Lucia.
And kanina in her interview, she mentioned that they just have to do, you know, basic, simple things to win this game, pero efficiently. And that last hit from her was not the most powerful, but, you know, it gets a point for them.
Momentum now with Santa Lucia, and they need to run away with this, and they do exactly that, care of Mika Reyes.
Mika Reyes scoring off an ace. She actually had 3 aces in their last match against Ballypure.
Beautiful serve by Mika Reyes. And if we take a look at that score, Santa Lucia is now just down by 2 points. But Ria Meneses, I mean, what can you expect from Ria Meneses? Just powering that attack over there.
Nakita nga natin, medyo na-late na talaga yung blocker, no? Tumalon si Jonah, but she was moving mid-air, and that's just not enough when you're going up against a much taller player kasi papaluin niya sa taas mo eh. So you're gonna have that gap sa kamay mo and the net.
And definitely if that player is Ria Meneses. 3 points ang lamang ng Petro Gazz Angels. Chance here for them Again, to Rhea Meneses, the best blocker of our conference right now.
Maria Meneses is such a joy to watch, especially when we take a look at the spike of the set brought to you by Duncan. Nagiging veterano na talaga, and nakakatuwa kasi for volleyball fans, nakita talaga natin how Rhea evolved through these years. And for me, this is actually her best season, not just, you know, with her blockings, but also with how well she mastered her attacks.
So Rhea Meneses is definitely at her peak, and another person who has been making waves here in our game is Myla Pablo as we go to our second technical timeout. PETRO GAZZ leads 16-11.
Dito na naman tayo napupunta sa mataas siya. Ganun mo, ituloy mo na lang. Mga station nila.
Back here in the PVL Open Conference, first and only pro volleyball league here in the country. PETRO GAZZ versus Santa Lucia. It is a fight for the last semifinal spot here.
Again, para sa mga Santa Lucia fans, kailangan manalo ni Santa Lucia in straight sets today para ma-secure or at least have a better chance at that Final Four slot. Because things are gonna get complicated for the Santa Lucia Lady Realtors if they win this in 5 sets or they lose this game, they officially bow out of this tournament.
So they gotta give it all they've got. We got the PETRO GAZZ Angels who also need to win this game. So once again, it's a must-win game for both our teams. Myla Pablo definitely woke up in the very right side of the bed today. Take a look at that.
Definitely in her element. And again, yung blockings ng Santa Lucia, medyo nadidelay. And you really can't give that confidence sa mga spikers ng PETRO GAZZ. You know, to go up for the kill at late yung blockers.
So some adjustments need to be made. MJ Phillips trying to carry her team on her back here in set number 1.
Back shot there for Phillips. Medyo pababa na si Soltones on that block.
And she will serve this time. 13 serving 17. One had set to Rhea Meneses.
Height is might for Meneses. Way up above the hands of the blockers dahil sumabay sa talon Itong si Palomata. Sumabay sa setter, sa talon ng setter, hindi ng spiker.
Oh, we have Maizo Pontillas making an appearance here in this game.
If you need a game changer for Santa Lucia, of course, that's Maizo Pontillas for you.
And we also have Ruby De Leon joining her teammates. Let's see how these adjustments will work for Santa Lucia. They are down by 5 points. Great defense.
Oh, ball still alive here.
They go to Cess Molina.
Combination play works well for the PETRO GAZZ Angels. If you're going up against a very powerful hitter who also plays a lot with her angles, you can't go on a single net defense against Cess Molina.
And Santa Lucia will call a timeout and try to figure out what they need to do next. The next few steps that they need to take in order to have a fighting chance here in the set. And they definitely do, but you can't give that confidence to PETRO GAZZ, Mela. Especially that the body language of the Angels, it's just on a different level right now.
I was gonna say body language, and pero this time sa side naman ng Santa Lucia kasi they really need to win this game in 3 sets. Alam mo yun, and I'm sure they're all aware of that. Pero they're allowing Petro Gazz to score streak of points, which is very crucial also because as much as you're able to play catch-up in this game, napakahirap. Alam mo yung energy mo, yung effort mo to play catch-up. It's also gonna play a factor here in this game.
And syempre, yung confidence boost for them if they win this set number 1, it's gonna be, great for them this game. As Ria Meneses will serve, she currently has 4 points. 3 attacks, 1 block. And that is an attack error called on Del Palomata.
Well, it was actually, for me, parang good enough na for Palomata, pero pinalagpas niya yung bola and mababa na yung level ng bola when she decided to hit the ball, and of course it resulted to an error.
So right now, PETRO GAZZ with a comfortable lead, 7 points against Santa Lucia. Great blocking by PETRO GAZZ. They go to Soltones.
No one there to block Rachel Soltones. And you can't do that when you're going up against the top scorer also last game, no? Napaaga yung pag-transition nito ni Prado. Nauna siyang umatras, getting ready for an attack, not knowing na nakaset up pa ng play itong PETRO GAZZ.
As the play continues, and that will be a net touch violation called on Del Palomata. And things, going south here for Santa Lucia in their set number 1, Melo. Why do you think, that's the case? Why do you think this is happening to them?
Well, I'd like to touch on the intangibles kasi the energy of PETRO GAZZ coming to this game, umpisa pa lang when they score their points, it really looked like they're into this game. Meanwhile, ito namang Santa Lucia parang nangangapa pa eh. And again, the errors are also playing a factor here for them. Hindi sila nagpo-produce ng streak of points. It's parang ang nangyayari, maggagawa sila ng isang puntos, papalitan nila ng isa or dalawang error. So, that's not gonna work if you're playing catch-up here in this game.
You really need to be consistent and focused. And so far, PETRO GAZZ is doing all of that. I mean, take a look at Soltones with that attack.
Like every move they make here, talking about the PETRO GAZZ Angels, are so full of confidence. And Gretchen Soltones using the hands of Aiza Maizo Pontillas, too much power on that one.
PETRO GAZZ, I was gonna say at set point, but things escalated quickly, and that is a service ace for Ria Meneses, and the PETRO GAZZ Angels will take set number 1 from the Santa Lucia Lady Realtors. More on this game when we come back. This is a PVL Open Conference. You're watching the Premier Volleyball League Open Conference. Crucial game between the PETRO GAZZ Angels and the Santa Lucia Lady Realtors. And what a performance, Mela, by the GAZZ Angels in set number 1.
Well, they started this match na talagang they came in prepared, and it reflected dito sa ating set 1. Everyone just really contributing on the side of PETRO GAZZ. We saw everyone talaga scoring points. Ria Meneses, even Remy Palma. Myla Pablo also big in that first set. And of course, Gretchen Soltones also making a difference in that early stretch of the game. As we take a look, 13 attacks for them, 3 blocks. And syempre yung errors din ng Santa Lucia even helped them na makapull away in that set. And so far, no one also from Santa Lucia showing consistency. Even their top scorer na si MJ Phillips wasn't able to do so much for their team para makadikit man lang in that set number 1.
And I know, Mela, that a lot of people are still a little bit confused about the scenarios that are surrounding this game. So why don't you touch base on that again? And also for those who just tuned in.
Okay, so sa mga kakapasok lang po sa ating game here between the Lady Realtors and the PETRO GAZZ Angels, if PETRO GAZZ wins this game today, regardless of the number of sets, they eliminate the Lady Realtors. Pero if ito namang Santa Lucia, kung mananalo sila ng straight sets, which in this case is impossible now because, PETRO GAZZ won the first set. Kung mananalo man sila ngayon in 4 sets, they're gonna depend on the game of PETRO GAZZ and Choco Mucho tomorrow kung makakapasok man sila sa semifinals.
And syempre, that's one thing that you don't want when you leave.
On the other hand, Sabete naman for Santa Lucia already has 5 points and Phillips, surprisingly, just 3 points in that set number 1.
So Phillips, silent in that set number 1. The last time she had a game or a set 1 like this was against, as I mentioned, Choco Mucho. But I think she heard that dahil nagising si MJ Phillips here in set number 2.
So this is the perfect time for them to come alive here in this game. I mean, even when you don't win in straight sets, you'd still want to take this win, di ba? Parang collect as many wins as you can. And kung saan man mag-rely yung fate nila, at least, they did their best in this game.
As we get back to this game, they go to Myla. And they go back to Phillips. She is blocked.
She's really being read well in this game. And syempre, pag ikaw yung top scorer, grabe rin yung aral talaga sa'yo. So I think Janelle has to find other people also to utilize in this game. That's a good recovery there.
The
no
ball's
whistle.
still alive.
That's right. No whistle from the referee. But Myla Pablo's gonna take that point courtesy of her signature down the line hit.
Let's take a look at that one more time. Look at Myla Pablo go off the hands of Jonas Sabete, clearly frustrated. That was a good rally. We didn't expect the outcome to be like that. Hinihintay ko yung pito ng referee. Well, from this angle, it's hard to tell. Santa Lucia 2-1.
And Correa's finding, struggling to get that balance. He's having a hard time with the sets. On the other hand, ito naman si Rhea Meneses enjoying every set that she gets from Chi Saet. Whether it be running attack, A-quick, she's really up and above to hit those balls.
It's a great connection between Chi Saet and Rhea Meneses, and that is a service ace for the veteran setter of the PETRO GAZZ Angels, who has 13 excellent sets in this game. Great serve from her.
Again, yung body language ng PETRO GAZZ Angels is really different in this game.
And we have Kai Baloloa, who is gonna enter the playing court. Myla Pablo on your screens at the front line alongside Rhea Meneses. Siyempre si Kath Arado, nandun din sa likod.
Yung focus ng PETRO GAZZ, we can see sa mga mata nila. Meanwhile, looking so frustrated and still struggling to find their groove here in this game. Itong Santa Lucia Lady Realtors. Good attempt there from Jovi Prado.
And again, Myla Pablo continues to impress. And so happy for her because the past few games she has been struggling, and this is the first time I think that we're seeing her actually loosen up and really have fun in this game, smiling all throughout too.
Her best game so far, yung porsyento niya, every time she gets set, talagang ang taas ng porsyento niya. And that's the Myla we know. And coming into this new team kasi for her, parang talagang very balanced yung scoring ng PETRO GAZZ. Kumbaga, ang daming niyang katulong na unlike before na sa mga previous teams niya, it's always her, di ba? Nagkaroon nga, dyan siya naging bagyong Pablo
Maybe there's a lot of pressure also. I mean, if ikaw na lang lagi yung, you're always carrying your team on your back. As we go to this timeout called by Santa Lucia, as you can see on your screens, they are down by 3 points against PETRO GAZZ here in our set number 2. Back here in the PVL, Santa Lucia just called a timeout to try to stop this run by PETRO GAZZ. MJ Phillips, Mika Reyes, silent here in this game.
And we have to highlight also that Santa Lucia haven't had the chance to take the lead since the beginning of this game.
So tough times here for the Lady Realtors, who badly need this win to still stay in contention for the semifinals. Let's take a look at excellent digs, 15-25. PETRO GAZZ leading on that one, but again, Ria Meneses.
Again, talagang napo-force itong Santa Lucia to just go to MJ Phillips. And of course, Ria Meneses really acknowledging na ganun yung mangyayari in this game. So in order for Santa Lucia to get ahead of that strategy of PETRO GAZZ, kailangan talaga nilang i-separate yung mga blockers.
And Jovi Prado will get that point. So Janelle Cheng will have to look for other options as we bring you the spike of the set, brought to you by none other than Duncan. You got Jovi Prado on your screens, happy with that attack.
The rare opportunity also na walang mabablock sa kanya because no one went up to block her on that last attempt.
But again, tong PETRO GAZZ, every point that Santa Lucia does, they have an answer right away. And more often than not, it's either Ria Meneses or Myla Pablo.
That's right. And actually, that reflects yung focus talaga nung team. Unlike yung nangyayari nga sa Santa Lucia, like I mentioned in the first set, gagawa sila ng isang puntos, papalitan na nila ng 2 error. So, it's really gonna be tough for them.
So it's 1 step forward, 2 steps back here for Santa Lucia as we get back to this game. Still nothing here for Santa Lucia. They go to Myla from the back. That is outside for Pablo.
Medyo nakahiga na siya sa area on that attack. The contact is not the usual contact that we see from Myla, leading to an error. As we take a look at Balwalo here, hoping to be the spark plug for the Lady Realtors.
And they badly need, to get something going for their team here in set number 2. Ria Meneses challenging those blockers. Balik ang bola sa PETRO GAZZ. Soltones is blocked. And the point will go here to Santa Lucia.
And that's a very tall combination of blockers also for Soltones. We have MJ Phillips and Del Palomata getting their own share of block points here for Santa Lucia.
Inching closer to the PETRO GAZZ Angels. That's always a good sign. 5-7 is our score. PETRO GAZZ in the lead. They go to MJ. Picked up by Myla. Back set to Molina. What an attack.
There.
Yes. Defense by Jovi Prado in the back.
Medyo wala na nagawa si Ria Meneses on that hit. Kakalanding niya lang kasi. Tapos biglang dinrop ball. So, good strategy also from Kai Balwalwa. Ayun, na-touch niya kasi. So, she was supposed to recover that ball. And si Chisite, niya nakita na nasa likod niya.
So, here comes the Santa Lucia Lady Realtors. Down by 1 point. They tie this game thanks to Mika Reyes, one of the better servers for Santa Lucia.
That's right. And Santa Lucia fans, this is what you want to see na si Santa Lucia ay gumagawa ng maraming puntos, like on a streak.
And it's quite a slow set number 2 for both our teams. But what matters is the game is tied. Not for long though. Definitely not for long as Cesc Molina will send us to our first technical time out of set number 2. PETRO GAZZ leads 8-7. We're back and you're still watching the game between the PETRO GAZZ Angels and the Santa Lucia Lady Realtors. Must-win game for both our teams. Very crucial indeed. Billy Capistrano with Mela Tunay. Aitan Sai, our segment host. PETRO GAZZ in the lead, 8-7. We have Mian Mendres on your screens. One of the middle blockers for the GAZZ Angels.
You know, the starters of PETRO GAZZ really looking stable here in this game. Habang yung Santa Lucia naman has already injected a couple of players from their bench to make a difference in this game.
Let's take a look at the attack points. 3 for Santa Lucia, 6 for PETRO GAZZ.
I was looking to see etong unang rally coming into this second set after that timeout. Kasi I heard Coach Arnold giving instructions to the Angels about Kai Balwalwa. And then I remembered, dati nga pala PETRO GAZZ Angel, ito si Kai. So basang-basa ro. And the players like Ces Molina responding well to the instructions, being able to block itong si Kai Balwalwa. Pero babawi itong si Jonas Sabete, again playing with her angles and putting so much power in all.
Will serve, good serve. They go to Palma, powering through the blockers of Santa Lucia. And she loved that. She definitely enjoyed that one.
That's right. And isa yan sa mga favorite hits niya, yung running talaga. So we take a look at the spike of the set brought to you by Duncan. Remy Palma on that point. And we also have to credit si Kat Arado for her perfect reception. You know, there are a lot of things that this PETRO GAZZ team can do. And they have a lot of weapons also to utilize for as long as they get their receive going.
You know, PETRO GAZZ Angels, again, they have a wonderful, team composition. All the positions that they have solid players. Kat Arado, the #1 best digger and receiver here in our league right now. Gretchen Soltones.
Alam mo yung swing at approach pa lang ni Gretchen, you know that would be a point. Gretchen Soltones here. So take a look at this. Another spike of the set brought to you by Duncan. Full swing, picture perfect execution. And again, ang taas ng kamay ni Gretchen. She's not the tallest player of PETRO GAZZ. Pero her vertical leap and her contact sa bola, napakataas talaga.
Little joust at the net, won by Remy Palma.
All the Angels just looking so focused in this game.
Let's take a look at that again. There you have it, Rem Palma. Easy for her.
Ready sa balik ng bola. Itong si Remy Palma.
And kailangan focus talaga itong Santa Lucia. They are down by 1 point. It's been a pretty tight second set so far.
Better pass for them. And Jovi Prado will deliver for the Lady Realtors.
They
so
need
far,
all the help that they can get.
Yeah, I was gonna say, so far siya pa lang and si Sabete, yung consistent for the Lady Realtors. The middles though are so far at this point, I would say non-factors in front. Although Mika, doing so good also in the service line. Pero in terms of their middle game, hindi pa masyadong na-activate eh.
Iba naman yung nangyayari dito sa PETRO GAZZ Angels. As you can see, Ram Palma a while ago, also Ria Meneses and Myla Pablo as well. She is continuing, to just have that energy shift here in this game, and it's very apparent in how she's moving. Great defense by the Angels too.
You could see no one was up there to block Myla Pablo, and alam mo kasi si Myla at this point, nakikita natin wala nang pressure yung ginagalaw niya. Gagawin niya lang kung ano yung, kung ano yung gusto niyang gawin sa court. Pero it's also another thing na no one's trying to stop her. Lalo na nakita natin in that last attack, wala man lang nag-block sa kanya. So she's really gonna gain that confidence if you give it to her.
And she is very confident in this game. Her team is leading by 3 points. They will go to Ria Meneses.
I don't know kung paano nila pinractice yun because that's not the usual tempo that we see from Ria.
I was just gonna say, take a look at that.
Alam na alam nila yung gagawin. Chisaet, pinatalon muna yung dalawang blockers ni Ria. And the connection that is team has built is just so impressive and so good to watch.
In a short amount of time, they
That's
were able to
right.
build that familiarity with each other, and that is very, very impressive. Great blocking. They go to Sabete from the back row, no go. They go to Rhea again, but this time,
That was too low.
yes, that was too low. That was a violation called. Santa Lucia gets that point. They are down by 4 points.
Nakababa na yung kamay ni Rhea. And she did not manage to keep that ball across.
Cheng will serve. They go to Myla again. Picked up by Sabete. They go to Prado. She is blocked. Ball still alive. And Mika Reyes makes her presence felt in set number 2, and about time too.
And I think I saw a little swag there from Mika Reyes. And if you're a Santa Lucia fan, this is what you want to see. You know the things that happen to any team that Mika plays in whenever she gets this character going.
And you know that energy is infectious, and that's what she wants to happen. She wants to wake her team up, and slowly they're starting to wake up. A good sign, the service ace by Cheng.
With a little bit of help from the net. But again, a point is a point.
They'll take it. They'll take what they can get. Gapi plays though with good defense for Santa Lucia. They go to Meneses. A chance here for Santa Lucia. Prado is blocked. Ball still alive. That is great, great effort by Santa Lucia. You can see Bang Pineda really just diving for that ball.
Good effort there to cover. Kasi if you're going up against a good blocking team, isa yan sa mga kailangan mo talagang pagtrabahuhan yung coverage. Because you can't just, surrender na, ay, magaling yung blocker nila. Mabablock kami. There's still a line of defense na pwede niyong bawian.
It's also what happens after that block
That's
that you
right.
have to anticipate. And that was a very bad miscommunication on the part.
Ang dapat talaga mag-abot na nun is si Gretchen Sultones. You see, nagkataruan na ang kanilang dalawang players.
Tingnan natin kung babawi ang Gas Angels. Not yet. And here come the Santa Lucia Lady Realtors. Jonah Sabete will get that point for her team and tie this game.
Good ball control there from Sabete. She knows how to use her spin para pababain yung bola. Doesn't have to be strong, but she knows na pag mabilis niya pinabagsak yung bola using her spin, no one could get there in time to defend that ball.
And you also have to give credit to Jovi Prado manning the back. A defensive threat in her own right. And that will be a point for the Gas Angels.
This is a tighter set between Santa Lucia and PETRO GAZZ. Pero still, when it comes to body language and production of points, it's still PETRO GAZZ looking like, they're getting the lead in this game.
And that's why Santa Lucia will call a timeout here. As you can see the Gas Angels on your screens right now. They are holding on to a 1-point lead. But as you guys can tell from the way things are going here in our second set, it's going to be very unpredictable. Hindi natin masasabi kung sino ang makakakuha ng set na ito.
PETRO GAZZ still with the lead. Santa Lucia playing catch-up, pero mukhang yung momentum na kay PETRO GAZZ pa rin talaga. Like I keep saying, their body language is different in this game. Santa Lucia really needs to do something different and extra for them to get ahead in this game.
And there you have it, the PETRO GAZZ Angels and Santa Lucia. They are battling it out here Thursday night. If you guys just tuned in, it's going to be, an exciting time for everybody. We got some great volleyball up ahead. And so far, set number 2 has been living to the hype of this game in terms of the skill that these two teams are showing. most especially itong PETRO GAZZ Angels na paulit-ulit namin sinasabi ni Mela na iba talaga yung body language nila. And you can really tell, but you know, Santa Lucia, they're trying. And we can all see that. But just a different, you know, vibe here for the PETRO GAZZ Angels.
So PetroGas definitely did their assignment. As we saw na kanina, bago tong play na to, na-block nila si MJ Phillips. And it's not easy to do when there's a double quick attack. But this time around, Nika Reyes converting this set into a point. Again, with a little swag there from Nika.
And she's now joining the scoring party for Santa Lucia. And that was one thing that was missing. The blockers were silent. Mela mentioned a while ago. Here comes Gretchen Soltones.
And yung kagandahan dito naman sa PetroGas, they know na si Santa Lucia, like I mentioned in their previous matches, looking like they're peaking at the right time. And you know, the respect that PetroGas gives to them na hindi na nila hinahayaan na mag-build ng momentum si Santa Lucia because they're also a dangerous team to go up with. Kaya every time that Santa Lucia scores off a point, binabawi agad nitong PetroGas.
However, one thing that they should watch out for, those errors on their end. As we take a look at that again.
Jimenez is low. Siya rin kasi yung closest person to go for that set. Kaya lang there's a double violation called there on Ria.
And this is a chance for Santa Lucia to tie this game. Unfortunately, back-to-back errors for both our teams. MJ Phillips with that service error. She does not look like herself in today's game, Mela.
I was gonna say na we haven't seen Santa Lucia play like this. You know, after they scored back-to-back wins in their previous outings. Ngayon lang ulit nagkaganito yung laro nila, you know, their body language.
And we have some substitutions. We have Jeremy Malabanan coming in. And you saw Ruby De Leon also for Santa Lucia. Join in on the fun, of course. Maiso Pontillas, the legend, will join Santa Lucia as well. Hoping to make a difference here. Hoping to sustain that momentum, regain and sustain that momentum. 9 attack points for Santa Lucia, 12 for PetroGAZZ.
Well, if there's one thing that this Santa Lucia team needs, it's really leadership. I mean, everyone on the court, makakapunto sila, isa, dalawa, but they're all very silent. No one really parang hyping up the team. And, you know, Aiza Maiso Pontillas, not the most vocal, pero mapapasunod ka talaga whenever she generates the point for her team. That's her type of leadership.
And there's a level of respect, syempre, when it's Maiso Pontillas. As we get back to this game, good serve. They go to Soltones. Picked up a Maiso Pontillas. Sabete from the back row is no good. Back to Soltones. And that will go to Gretch Soltones, who with that celebration. And that's a good thing about PetroGAZZ. Also, they're celebrating every single point with such enthusiasm. That was off the hands of Jovi Prado.
That's right. And yung variations na nakita natin earlier, dalawang beses kasi siya sinet Earlier na depensahan siya. And on her last attempt, she switched it up to down the line and it worked well for her.
Myla Pablo. And that is off the block and into the sidelines for Myla Pablo.
And everyone just really moving all around the court. Nakita natin si Gretchen galing pa yun sa kabilang side ng court, pero she managed to get to that side of the court para i-set up si Myla. And this frustrates Santa Lucia and you know, forces them to call this timeout.
This is the second set of a very exciting game, also a very interesting game. Santa Lucia versus PetroGAZZ del Palomata on your screens. Maiso Pontillas as well, Rem Palma, Jerely Malabanan manning the front line for PetroGAZZ. Lady Beast, Grazza Soltones, 8 points off 6 attacks, 1 block, and 1 ace. And she will serve. Maizo Pontillas. But that is gonna go to the PETRO GAZZ Angels, unfortunately for her.
Santa Lucia still to find the person who can carry the load for them in this game. Not even Aiza Maizo, Pontillas could, you know, parang wala pa rin game changer kumbaga for them.
They're still waiting on something to happen. Maybe they can start it after this service error by Grazza Soltones. It's 19 serving 2022. PETRO GAZZ, they won that set number 1, so it's very important for Santa Lucia to gain that confidence, that momentum. They need to get this set from the Angels. But unfortunately for Santa Lucia, you know, they had a mini burst of energy a while ago, Mela, and now it's kind of dwindling down again.
And kasi hindi lang siya, yung parang napuputol yung momentum nila dahil sa kanila mismo. It's not because, well, for a fact, nakakapunta si PETRO GAZZ against them, pero iba pa rin kapag yung errors nanggagaling sa inyo. Parang it would make you feel na you're not having a good game.
It makes you feel like you're controlling the game as well. PETRO GAZZ, though, great defense on both teams, as you can see. Finally, Maizo Pontillas will get the point.
Fast thinker there, Maizo Pontillas, acknowledging that the defenders of PETRO GAZZ Angels are not in place, and she's very used to doing those 1-2 plays. Benefit din yan, advantage din yan kapag kakaliwete ka.
And she saw that hole in the defense of PETRO GAZZ. Great court sense, as we all know from Maizo Pontillas. Good serve by Cheng. Ball is still alive. They will go to MJ Phillips. She will try. Picked up by Soltones. Free ball here. A chance for Santa Lucia. And they will go to Phillips. Nobody there again for the Angels, inching closer to possibly tie this game. Let's take a look at that again.
No blocker there for MJ Phillips. And just enough spin para pababain yung bola, and PETRO GAZZ calls a timeout.
Yung pasa na binigyan ng banda doon, umano ka sa kanya. Sige. Wag yung pasa.
Could hear in the timeout. I'm not sure if you can hear it, but from our end, we heard Kath Arado telling her teammates to smile. And you know, that's the kind of energy that you want also. They're not pressured, it feels like, even with the situation at hand. They are still leading by 2 points, but the Santa Lucia Lady Realtors, they're making a comeback slowly.
Well, kailangan talaga mag-relax lang sila kasi they are still in control of the game.
Definitely. Great blocking this time around by Santa Lucia. Here comes Myla Pablo. Good defense. Good rally as well. Ball is still alive. Catarado diving for that one. And that rally was ended by Ria Meneses na pumalakpak din pagkatapos ng attack niya.
Well, you have to credit also yung coverage ng Santa Lucia. They really want to stay alive in this game, pero you know, Ria Meneses is not allowing them to. Kita natin tong quick hit na yun. She was ready for that ball, and she's really taking command sa lahat ng ginagalaw niya dito sa court. And that's, you know, the leader that she's slowly becoming to be here for the PETRO GAZZ Angels.
It's so wonderful also to see Ria Meneses mature here in the open conference. PETRO GAZZ now at set point. They go to MJ. And that does not go over for MJ Phillips, who has been having some troubles here in our game, Mela. At any rate, nakuha ito ng PETRO GAZZ Angels. We're gonna be right back. This is a PVL Open Conference. We're back and you're still watching the 2021 Premier Volleyball League Open Conference, and that set number 2 was won by the PETRO GAZZ Angels. Mela, talk us through what happened that set, weaknesses of both teams and strengths of both teams as well.
Well, definitely that was a better effort by Santa Lucia, pero nakita natin talaga yung connection ng buong PETRO GAZZ Angels. Talagang it reflects in their game, and everyone still kalat pa rin yung puntos mula sa PETRO GAZZ Angels. Although on the other hand, nakita natin meron ng tumulong sa mga wing hitters ng Santa Lucia. As we take a look at the stats, 12 attacks, a better one for them compared to 15 also of PETRO GAZZ Angels. But definitely yung attack nila ngayon ay better nung first set. And then the blocks, of course, as expected, talagang PETRO GAZZ Angels tumalabang in this department. And yung unforced errors, the Realtors were able to maximize on that, or minimize rather, on that aspect. 4 lang kumpara sa 6 ng PETRO GAZZ Angels, but still, kinukulang pa rin. But like I said, it was a better outing for them. Kailangan lang nila ng consistency kasi nadadama yung, kumbaga, yung result ng kanilang output because nadadown yung moral nila because of their, momentum na sila rin mismo yung nagsastop.
And yung word doon talaga is sayang for Santa Lucia. They had many opportunities to bounce back and probably get that lead and get away with that lead and win that set. However, they just weren't able to do that. They would always get errors after the points that they would make. As I've said a while ago, it's 1 step forward, 2 steps back. Hopefully, that doesn't happen here. But the PETRO GAZZ Angels, they get their first point via a service ace pair of Rem Palma, their middle blocker from FEU.
Remy Palma joining the scoreboard for PETRO GAZZ. We take a look at Meneses and Pablo already have 11 points apiece for the PETRO GAZZ Angels. Meanwhile, si Sabete naman leading the charge for Santa Lucia with 8 points. Phillips with just 5. So, wala pa rin talagang, someone in Santa Lucia na talagang magpo-convert big for them.
Uncharacteristic output for NJ Phillips, especially at during this crucial game, at this crucial stage in the competition, as PETRO GAZZ still leads 2-0.
Nakita natin, ito rin PETRO GAZZ. Kung nakita niyo yung position nila, habang hinihintay nila mag-serve si Remy, it's called screening. So, that's actually a strategic technique na meron silang naka-assign na target. Like si Remy, they would assign her to target cross-court, and then the screeners, magkukumpul-kumpul sila sa side kung saan dadalahin para hindi makita or ma-distract yung receiver. But this doesn't look like a problem for them as MJ Phillips was able to convert that spike of the set brought to you by Duncan. No blockers there for her, and finding the line in the PETRO GAZZ defense.
And hopefully, we see more of that from her. Pero may sagot naman din si Myla Pablo. Siyempre, hindi magpapatalo si Myla Pablo.
And speaking of line, I honestly think na down the line is her hardest angle, hardest hit. No, talking about Myla Pablo, we know that she could go at any side of the court, pero yun talaga yung signature niya ever since. It's really that down the line hit.
We get back to this game. Again, Myla Pablo, but that will be up here for Santa Lucia. They are down by 1 point. And a clean slate for them. They can start over here in set number 3. All is not lost. You got Mika Reyes serving.
Oh. That was a good save supposedly for PETRO GAZZ. Kaso na double violation doon si Myla. And she could have just sent that ball over using a dig pass.
And Mika will serve again. We are tied at 3-all. This is our 3rd set. Myla Pablo will try. And that is off the hands of Jonas Sabete, if I'm not mistaken.
Nabawi. And of course, si Myla acknowledging also na it's Mika Reyes na nasa loob. There's no libero from that sequence. And dun niya dinala yung atake niya na yun.
They go to Del Palomata, gets that point.
And finally, para sa mga Santa Lucia fans, ito rin yung gusto nyong makita talaga na there's someone sharing the scoring for their team as we took a look at that spike of the set brought to you by Duncan.
And better ball distribution being done by Janelle Cheng. Free ball here, a chance for Santa Lucia. They give it to MJ Phillips, too much.
Good delay there by Janelle Cheng. And until the last second, ang hirap basahin kung kanino niya isi-set. And of course, one blocker not enough if you're going up against MJ Phillips.
Santa Lucia now back on track, 1-point lead. They go to Sotones.
MJ Phillips coming alive in this game. It's the first time na sila yung kukuha ng lead since we started this first set.
It's the first time that they're actually controlling the game. They go to Ces Molina. Ces Molina again. Sinabi nga natin kanina, pinapantayan lang nila yung mga puntos itong Santa Lucia.
You know, talagang all throughout this game, nakikita natin na it's not just one person doing the damage for Petro Gazz. I mean, Ces Molina been quiet in the previous sets. Nakakapuntos but not as, not her usual. Pero pag kailangan talaga at pag nasetan siya, she would deliver for the Angels.
And again, another point by MJ Phillips.
The perfect time for MJ to, wake up in this game. We know what she can do here for the Lady Realtors. It's just a matter of talagang magising eh.
She will refuse to stay silent here in this game. And again, a service ace from MJ Phillips, but we'll check in on that when we come back. Santa Lucia with a lead, 8-5. We're gonna go to our first technical timeout of set number 3. Santa Lucia now with the lead against the PETRO GAZZ Angels here in our very crucial set number 3. For those who are just watching, for those who just tuned in, PETRO GAZZ in the lead 2-0. So if you're a Lady Realtors fan, you need this set.
As they needed that lucky shot there. MJ Phillips scoring off an ace with the help of the net. She now has 10 points in this game, 8 attacks and 2 aces.
Back-to-back aces for MJ Phillips. But out of luck for this one, service error.
That was too low for MJ.
We got Ces Molina serving for the GAZZ Angels. 6 serving 9.
Single blocker there for Jovi Prado. And yun pa yung smaller blocker nila. Nachisa it. Remy Palma dumoble sa middle. And usually, ang dinodoble talaga kapag nagbablock is yung open hitters. And isa lang yung nagbablock kapag yung tawag dun yung dulo-dulo na set. Like, you have a running set and then may open set. Usually, the double blockers go up against the open hitter. And paano mo ba naman hindi ito-double block kapag ganun kalakas yung palo? Talking about Jovi Prado, she delivered that down-the-line hit, forcing PETRO GAZZ to a timeout.
You see Myla Pablo on your screens, as well as Mika Reyes. Had a couple of aces a while back, a couple of points also for her team. So don't look now, but it's Santa Lucia's set here in the third one.
Billy, are you ready for a 5-setter? I'm just gonna ask, like, out
We
of
don't
nowhere.
know. We don't know. We welcome it. We welcome a 5-setter, of course, because both our teams. I mean, you don't want.
Kailangan
Yes,
kasi
and
nila
you don't wanna. As much as we don't want it, but a team has to go home at some point, right? But sayang kasi yung dalawang koponan na to. I do believe that they're peaking also at the right time, talking about both of them.
Yeah.
But we will see what both our teams will come up with tonight.
Combination play for Santa Lucia. They get dub.
Great defense there by Jonas Abete. However, di lang nahabol ni Cheng. Masyado nang malayo yung bola.
And so far for Santa Lucia, ito yung nagiging problem area nila, yung down the line hit. I mean, you know, PETRO GAZZ have scored a couple of points from that area, pero hindi pa rin nakakapag-adjust itong depensa ng Santa Lucia.
But they're still in the lead right now, and they gotta take care of that lead. They can't give confidence to the Gas Angels, but there you have it. Rem Palma again.
You have to credit also how loaded yung serves ng PETRO GAZZ are becoming here in this game. You know, we credit the points to the person that hit that regalo, pero it's really coming off from the loaded serves of the server.
And Santa Lucia will call a timeout, sensing that the PETRO GAZZ Angels, again, you know, want to take that lead from them or want to tie this game. This is our third set. Let's see what will happen after this timeout. Kung tutuloy na ba ng PETRO GAZZ.
Pam Lastimoso on your screens. Not suited up to play for Santa Lucia.
We have Jovi Prado, who has been playing so well here in this game. We have Rem Palma, taking it easy. Pero iba ang focus nitong si Bang Pineda and MJ Phillips. Totally different story for them. They go to Mika. And it is good for Mika Reyes.
May konting tingin pa after that point. Pero dito rin talaga kilala si Mika. You know, she wouldn't score of the strongest hits, pero alam niya rin talaga kung saan dadalhin yung bola.
And we love that smile from Yeye.
Your infectious smile.
Yes.
That could actually be the start of good things for Santa Lucia. Kasi, alam niyo, hindi siguro na-appreciate ng mga tao. For them, of course, it's what you see, which are the skills, how strong the spike was and everything. Pero yung body language is also big in sports, not just in volleyball, but in any sport.
Because it starts from there, syempre, kung ano yung emulate mo, yun
That's
talaga
right.
yung mangyayari. Nag-iba na si Rem Palma. Now she is focused with a little help from the tape of the net.
Back-to-back aces for Jovi Prado. And Santa Lucia up by 5 here in this set.
Coach Arnold Lanyog will have some substitutions. In comes Jessie De Leon, first time seeing action here in this match. In one of their previous games, Jessie was the spark plug off the bench. Let's see if she will do the same magic here in this game against Santa Lucia, because they badly need something to happen.
Almost an ace there, but Catarado just gets to it in time. And Myla Pablo, easy point for her. Going to that corner, not even Bang Pineda, who's been doing a good job here for Santa Lucia, could get that one.
Rem Palma will come back in.
Balik agad because, you know, si Palma, isa rin yan sa mga heavy servers ng PETRO GAZZ.
Let's see what she's gonna do here. We got Rem Palma, 6 points, 5 attacks, 1 ace. Her team is down by 4 points. Good serve. 1-2 play. And that will still go to Cheng.
With acknowledgement from Cheng, alam niyang walang libero sa loob. It's the middle blocker who also came from the serve, and napakalayo nung pinanggalingan ni Remy Palma. If you take a look at this replay, pabalik pa lang si Remy. Says Molina not in time to cover for that ball.
So Santa Lucia now holding on to a pretty good lead. 5 points here in our third set. Myla will challenge the blockers.
Nakita natin yung pihit, no, kay Myla. Like, she twisted her body para lang mapalabas yung bola na yon. Because she knows kung sino yung magbablock sa kanya. It's the wall of Mika Reyes and MJ Phillips. You really need to find a way to score kung sila yung blocker mo.
Good read by Myla Pablo. Also good read here by Rhea Meneses.
You know, they've been getting a lot of points from Regalos, Belino. And again, it traces back to the loaded serves ng Petro Gazz.
So malalakas talaga tong service ng Petro Gazz. She saw it just served a while ago. And that will sail outside for Jonah Sabete.
Too much angle there for Jonah. I mean, Myla has also been doing a good job in blocking. Kaya naman, it's forcing the spikers of the Lady Realtors na magkaroon ng sobrang angle. Well, that time, sumobra talaga. Oh, that was too low.
Off the hands of Kath Arado. And we will go to our second technical timeout of set number 3. Santa Lucia leads 16-13.
Ngayon, nagawin natin. Dahan-dahan natin pa. Tulad niya, binibitawan natin po. Ano kalayo? Para kung magpapagay pa doon pa tayo. Hindi pwede mag-aabang tayo ng bulak.
Walang block, tapos start.
Third set, Santa Lucia versus PETRO GAZZ. And if we saw the Lady Realtors, you know, a bit sluggish in sets number 1 and 2, they look so much better, you know, their body language nga sabi mo, Mela, mas okay talaga yung pinapakita nila dito sa ating set number 3.
And they've been in the lead since, I don't know, bago tayo dumating sa 10. And they're acknowledging how crucial this game is for them. You know, sabi nga natin kanina, kailangan nila tong mapanalo ng straight sets if they want to really have a higher chance at that semi-slot. But nonetheless, you know, kailangan pa rin nila ipanalo tong game na to kahit in any sets. Pero Myla Pablo, mainit pa rin para sa PETRO GAZZ Angels. This is really her best game in the season so far. Yung porsyento niya sa atake, napakataas talaga. Kasing taas ng contact niya sa bola in that attack.
Myla Pablo soaring high for the PETRO GAZZ Angels, and I definitely agree with you. This is the best game Myla's had here in this conference. And it's a Myla that we all love, Myla that we all miss. And don't look now, but the PETRO GAZZ Angels are making a comeback here in our third set. Let's look at that again.
And Ces Molina, dun kasi siya nag-block sa original position niya. You know, prior joining her new team, she was originally an open hitter, even in the national team. Diyan talaga siya sanay na sanay mag-block.
At kitang-kita naman, Mela, another block here, this time by Rhea Meneses.
And kita natin, saradong-sarado talaga.
No
Walang
entry.
dadaanan.
No chance, said Rhea Meneses. And they are now down by just 1 point, just like that. They keep the ball alive, they send it over.
Kat Arado spiking that ball over.
The past few plays have been very, very crucial for both teams.
And look at the movement of Rhea. Alam mo yun, nakikipagagawan sa jaws and then moving back and getting ready for her next move for the attack.
Yun yung gusto mo, yung aggressiveness na pinapakita niya. You know she wants to win this game. Here comes Ces Molina, again challenging the blockers of Santa Lucia. Just charging through.
Again, if you're gonna see Ces Molina getting a lot of points. She's probably at that side kung saan siya sanay.
So she's very comfortable. Familiarity din
Yeah,
for
that's
her
right.
in that spot, and definitely working for the PETRO GAZZ Angels. They regained that lead, 18 serving 17. But those service errors, again, that we don't want to see. Any team, they don't want to see that. Santa Lucia has tied this game. It's going to be a tight match, tight third set. We will see what Santa Lucia comes up with. Here comes Jonas Abete, 18-all. And back-to-back service errors from both our squads is something that you do not want, especially at the tail end of this third set. Santa Lucia is going to hang on for dear life. They need the set. Meneses will serve.
Costly error there by Jovi Prado.
Back-to-back errors for Santa Lucia. Attack error for Jovi Prado. And Santa Lucia will call a timeout. They are down by 2 points after controlling most of this third set.
Ganun-ganun lang. Well, it boils down also to maturity. Kasi iba rin yung improvement, iba rin yung maturity. And I think, talking about player Ria Meneses, that she gained both eh. Nag-improve yung skills, nag-improve yung maturity. And she's just so lethal for PETRO GAZZ. And syempre sabayan pa natin ang good game nila Myla Pablo. And also here in this third set, Sis Molina joining the scoring for the Angels. And ganun-ganun lang, parang ganun kabilis lang nag-shift yung momentum. Napunta agad sa team nila.
And you can really see that PETRO GAZZ, they want to win this game. And not saying that Santa Lucia doesn't, but you can see nga yung energy nitong PETRO GAZZ. But Del Palomata will try to turn things around for the Lady Realtors.
They need more output from her. Kanina nakita natin, si Mika Reyes medyo sumasabay na eh. She's feeling it in this game. Pero we need more help. And of course, Del Palomata, we know what she can do also. Her potential is so high.
Yes. And that height, yung height pa lang, diba?
She also have the power, you know, talking about attacking.
See, we'll see, you know, what's going to happen here. But we have De Leon, their team captain. As the play continues here. 19 serving 20. Good serve. Chisaet. Smart play by Ces Molina.
Easy point there for Molina. Nakita niya talaga naka-atras na yung defender. And, you know, if you're the defender, talaga nga atras ka after the series of powerful attacks that we've seen from her. And, yun nga, ganun kadali lang. She got that point. And the lead is with PETRO GAZZ still, 19-21. They now inject 2 players off the bench. We have Perez and Mendrez here.
Let's see what impact they're gonna give to their team off the bench.
One-hand set, and
Maiza Pontillas is also right now on the court with Santa Lucia. So naman, instant impact for the Lady Realtors.
That's right. You know, the veterans trying to make a difference in this game for the Lady Realtors. Talking about Ruby De Leon and Maiza Pontillas. And they deliver in that sequence.
20 serving, 21 Mela. Ito na. What we've been waiting for. But Rem Palma, at the right time, she decides to shine for her team. Let's take a look at that again. Ivy Perez to Rem Palma. It's good.
Signature running hit there, courtesy of Remy Palma.
Nakikita mo, diba, yung sinabi mo nga kanina na everybody is working for PETRO GAZZ. Everybody's involved. Great ball distribution by Chisaet. As Getcho Sotones will serve. De Leon, Maiza Pontillas.
Quality minutes there by the legend Maizo Pontillas. hanging on to this game. 21-22, isa na lang ang lamang ng Petro Gazz Angels.
Light work for Maisa Pontillas, the veteran for the Santa Lucia Lady Realtors. 21-22, as Mela said, 8 points for Joey Prado now. She's been a big factor too in this game. Again, Rem Palma. Big time moves for the middle blocker.
Another thing we can note also dito sa side ng Petro Gazz na nag-shine yung bawat isa kasi nagpe-perform talaga ng maayos yung bawat isa. So, you know, the blockers, hindi rin talaga alam ng Santa Lucia blockers kung sinong tatapatan because everyone's just playing such a good game respectively.
It's a well-balanced game for the Petro Gazz Angels, and that's what they need moving forward if they do win this game. But Jonas Sabete not going down without a fight. Tinignan pa yung kabila. They are down by 1 point.
And another sigh of relief also. Siyempre, kapag nakalusot ka kay Ria Meneses, bragging rights na yun eh, no?
Kaya naman tuwang-tuwa si Sabete doon. She got past the number 1 blocker here in our conference. Janelle Cheng will serve 22-23.
Costly error there by Janelle Cheng. Petro Gazz now at match point. They are 1 point away from securing their slot at the PVL Conference semifinals. We take a look. Chi Saet entering the game to serve here for the Petro Gazz Angels.
And if you're Santa Lucia, the time of focus and be present is now. Petro Gazz, they have the chance, but we will see. MJ Phillips, she is blocked. They go to Jonas Sabete. They go to Ria Meneses. Balik sa Petro Gazz ang bola. And that is a very, very costly error, Mela, for Santa Lucia. What an unfortunate way to end their campaign. But the Petro Gazz Angels, you know, they just played so well today. And we're going to talk more about this game after this break. The PVL will be right back. We're back and you're still watching the Premier Volleyball League Open Conference game between the Petro Gazz Angels and the Santa Lucia Lady Realtors. And the Petro Gazz Angels, Mela, are going to the semifinals.
That's right. And you know, we got a big help from our player of the game, Milo Pablo. Talagang maaga pa lang nagsimula na siya ng maganda dito sa ating laban. And again, the body language, we haven't seen her play like this all throughout the tournament. And as we keep saying, this is her best game so far in this game. And she top scored for the Petro Gazz Angels, and talagang that third set, akala natin makakaisa ang Santa Lucia, but then again, Petro Gazz Angels is coming together to get this game.
And our player of the game, none other than Myla Pablo, is now with Ai Tensai. So why don't we listen in on what she has to say about this amazing win.
Myla, sinabi mo sa akin na para kayong magkakapatid ng Gazz Angels. Paano nyo na-translate ang inyong external connection sa court, lalo na nung talagang sa huling powerful yung kalaban pero nag-dominate pa rin kayo?
Actually talaga, nag-usap-usap kami as a team na hindi pa tapos to, kaya pa natin ito lumaban. Tapos ito maganda. And then yun nga po, yung usapan lang sa loob ng card, ni-apply naman po namin.
Yes, and meron bang maaantay ang fans kayong paparating na semifinals, Myla?
Ayun nga po, siguro this semis nga po, siguro paghahandaan pa namin po ng mabuti yung mga next game po namin. And I hope na may apply din po na ulit yung mga games namin sa semis po.
Yes, pwede nga bumati sa mga mahal mo sa buhay?
Ayun, binabati ko yung family ko sa Tarlac, yung family Pablo, Kabigtik, and then kay JJ Beliesa, ay papuntang US, ingat ka, and then yung family ko din sa London, sa Canada, hello po sa inyo lahat.
Ayun, there you have it, Myla Pablo of the Petro Gazz Angels. Congratulations again. There you have it. Expect another triple header tomorrow, PVL fans. Have a good night.
There you have it, our player of the game. Well-deserved naman talaga, Mela. Of course, si Myla Pablo. We miss, that energy from her. Yung mga malalakas na palo from Myla. But the volleyball action continues tomorrow. Sports fans, we got Creamline Cool Smashers at yung Perla Spiders at 1 p.m. That's gonna be our first offering. 3 games po tayo bukas. And we got the Choco Mucho Flying Titans and the Cherry Tico crossovers at 4 p.m. And then after that, the last offering for our Friday 7 p.m. Signal HD Spikers going up against the PLDT Home Fiber Power Hitters. Well, that is it for us today. On behalf of One Sports, my partner Mela Tunay, Ayi Tensai, our director Direk Raul de Ocampo, and everybody behind this production, I'm Billy Capistrano, thanking all of you for watching this coverage of the 2021 Premier Volleyball League Open Conference, the first and only pro volleyball league here in the country. Have a great night, everybody.